For those who don't know me, my name is Jesus. I'm the lead product manager here at Phenom, focus on EX, and I'm welcomed by Jackie as well. Jackie, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Jackie Riccardi. I'm on the solutions consulting team, so I work heavily with product to demo some of this software that Jesus built.
Awesome. You didn't see me this morning, but you saw her this morning. She got a job in the Phenom retail space, right? Cool. So we're going to talk today about something that we've been working towards. You probably saw some of it this morning as well during the keynote presentation, but it's really all around talent intelligence. How can we, as product managers, help talent leaders better equip their managers with data-driven decision-making options, but also better equip them to retain and evolve their talent. So let's start first with really understanding who we are as Phenom. You saw this slide. If you saw my session yesterday with BAE, this is a great slide. It's what we do for a living. We help and people find the right job. But really, what is our problem statement? Why are we creating products to help talent management? So you'll probably hear this a lot from us as well. Employee loyalty is constantly declining. We know this. We see it in the market. We're seeing that employees are expecting new ways to build their career, and they're expecting transparency, recognition, growth, and culture from their employers. And when they're not getting that value from their employees, we're seeing a lot of people leave. There's 79% of the total workforce are saying that they're looking for career advancements. They're looking for career opportunities, and when they don't have them, they'll do what's easiest for them, which is go to LinkedIn, go to a job board, talk to my friend that works somewhere else that has an open opportunity that I can quickly apply to. That's always what we see. And this is actually causing friction between managers as well. You have employees who want and desire opportunities to learn, to grow, to evolve, and managers are crunched, right? They don't know how to provide those opportunities or even what to recommend as their next option. So as managers, what do? Right? They're losing talent. They're getting questions asked by their employees. What can I do? How can they actually evolve? Now, as talent leaders, your business is essentially your functions, right? We need to find and help talent leaders find ways to lower turnover rates, lower cost benefits, proactively work with employees, reduce recruiting costs, and increase productivity. But how do we do this, right? The way we do it, the way we've been doing it today is, you've probably seen this a lot. Companies have been throwing titles, they've been throwing salaries, they've been throwing benefits at the problem, right? You might be seeing offices saying, hey, you can come in, bring your dogs. You might be seeing bigger titles, bigger salaries. This isn't necessarily the solution anymore. This doesn't work. People care about their titles, people care about their salaries, but they're more interested in thinking about growth. So as a result, every single company we've been talking with, and if you've talked with anybody that's joined the I Am Phenom event today, if you were at our keynote as well, there's really two critical aspects that we continuously hear. We want career paths, we want opportunities for our employees, and we're looking for a skills-first approach. How do we actually achieve that? Well, before we even jump into how we achieve that, let's talk about how it was actually done today, right? If you think about talent managers, if you think about career architectures and how they're developed, it really starts in sort of a five-prong approach, right? You start by identifying and meeting with every department, understanding critical roles, identifying the critical functions and the critical skills, and you're essentially mapping proficiencies and competencies to those roles, and you're repeating this for however many departments you have. This process is laborious, it's very tedious, doesn't work, it takes a long time. We've been talking to companies who have gone through this process, and we've heard companies that have 20,000 plus employees, this can take 2 years, right? If you think about the skills market, if you think about the competency market, mapping that data and actually finding that data is difficult. What's even worse is you may create it, you may have it, you may store it. It might be a PDF file, it might be an Excel file, it might be a file or a career architecture that only a subset of people in the company know. So managers are asking, okay, you're giving me this, but I have no idea how to use it. You're telling me that my roles have this salary, this grade, and these skills, but what does that actually mean for me? How do I map this? How do I actually track this for my employees? And even worse, you're mapping all of these skills. Skills have a very short half-life, and the architecture is becoming obsolete pretty rapidly, just like these floppy disks. So, what are we hearing? HR is demanding productivity. They want to understand aspirations. This is critical, right? If you're HR and you're trying to evolve your employees or trying to help your managers upskill and level up your employees, how do you even know what they aspire to be? A product manager may want to be a director of product manager. Maybe they don't. Maybe I just want to go and be a retail space, right? How do you actually understand aspirations? How do you understand early warnings? How do you provide intelligent coaching? What are your opportunities? What can you provide to your employees? And how do you help your managers collaborate in real time with their reports? You want to grow your talent before it's too late. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. And something we've always asked ourselves, we have AI. AI sits everywhere. If we're doing AI for recruiting, we're doing AI for CRM, we're doing AI for employee fit score matching as well, why can't we leverage that same data, that same foundation for our talent leaders? Talent managers, HRBPs, even managers directly. And this is exactly what we announced this morning. You probably saw it, but really what we're out to set is building a trifecta experience. An employee has to interact with HRBP. An employee has to interact with a manager. How do we build a single platform that can actually take the intelligence from these three key stakeholders into a single company? And that is actually our data intelligence or our talent intelligence engine. I want to just open it up to the crowd. I think we got a couple of minutes. I want to open up to the crowd, see if there's any questions, see if there's anything we want to kind of dive deeper into. Don't be shy. I know there's questions. I see a question over here.
So, I guess, where are you pulling in the skills information? Is that from
Yeah, great question. I knew that question was going to come up. I predicted it. We can actually pull that from a number of places. We've worked with a number of organizations that have skills information sitting in Excel files, sitting in a PDF file. They may be sitting in your ATS. They may be sitting in your HCM. They may be sitting in your employee profile data. They may be sitting in your LMS or LXP platforms. We can actually aggregate skills from a number of sources. Any source you have today, we can bring that over. On top of that, we can actually leverage our AI as well. So our AI is going to look at things like your job description, your profile roles, your profile descriptions as well. It's going to look at your recruiting trends, right? When you hire externally, people are giving you a CV. That CV has skills. When you make that hire, we know that you hire this person with X number of skills. That might infer an additional skill that may be learned from. We pull skills also from your employee data. So as I mentioned before, if that already exists today, we can actually automatically import that into our system. If it doesn't exist today, or if your employees are taking upskilling opportunities, learning gigs, mentorship opportunities, we have automatic workflows that trigger and automatically add skills to their profile when they do complete some of those workflows. So all of that is really aggregating all of those sources of skills into a single platform.
Now, when does that take place? Because we just went live, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I haven't really dug around with a lot of reports yet.
So great question. Off the bat, if you're live with our CRM, you've probably already seen our AI in action, looking at your job descriptions. You can probably go in there today and start tweaking a little bit in terms of the must-have and the nice-to-have skills. You can even add ideal profiles today. So that's off the bat. As your employees onboard to our talent marketplace, they'll be prompted to actually upload things like their resume, their LinkedIn profile. These things will happen by default, just by nature. Typically during the integration process, when we integrate with your ATS, your HCMs, we'll typically also bring in employee data automatically from those systems as well, if they exist. Absolutely. Any other questions? Let's see, a couple questions back here.
So when the employee profile, there were several categories of skills. One of them was peer relevancy.
Yeah. So great question. On the employee experience, on the talent marketplace, when you add a skill, you have the opportunity to add your proficiency level. When you validate that skill, that's considered a self-reported skill. It's me raising my hand, saying I have this skill, call it Java. I am an expert at Java. That's just one form of skill. Within the talent marketplace experience as well, as an employee, I can actually ask my peers or my managers to rate my skills as well. So that's actually triggered by the employee. They can actually start collaborating with their peers, managers, those folks that they always work with. Can you endorse my skills? All of that endorsement data that happens within the talent marketplace will aggregate into this ERM view. So you have an easy view, you have an easy understanding of, hey, I have this skill, it's only self-endorsed, versus I have this skill that's self-endorsed, manager-endorsed, and peer-endorsed. So that all comes from our talent marketplace side.
It also sparks a conversation between managers and their employees, right? Hey, this is where I think I'm at with this skill. Would you mind validating that for me? Where do you actually think that I'm at?
Right.
Are there more learning opportunities that I can take as an employee to get myself to that next competency level?
Right, so that was my next question. So with the validation, is it a level or is it just endorsing seeing that this person has the skills?
It's a great question. It depends on how we deploy skills for you. We do support proficiency levels. We also support just having a skill object within your profile. Those proficiency levels are customizable per customer, so you may have things like beginner, intermediate, advanced, or you may have level 1, level 2, level 3, and so forth. When you're requesting an endorsement as an employee, you're actually requesting endorsement for that proficiency level. So if you're a level 4 and your manager says, yes, I think you're a level 4, you would be endorsed for a level 4 proficiency level. See, another question right over here.
What about skills that are not technical in nature? So Java, HTML, CSS, all those are relatively obvious skills. What about more relationship building? Physical skills, we start talking about maybe frontline workers or others that have a less searchable by keyword type skill. Process improvement, Lean Six Sigma, but there's plenty of those, others that are similar to that. So how does that fit in with?
Yeah, so we tend to think about the employee experience as kind of two factions. The skills are more exactly that. They're more your knowledge skills, your Javas, your Six Sigma, your SQL, your generative AI. We have that function within the employee experience where an employee can go in, add those skills. They can also add things that maybe are not in our ontology as well. We do have our own skills ontology that's there suggesting skills for every employee. Now, underneath the hood, we have skill similarity. We can understand skill adjacency. So, you add Java, you add SQL, you add Python. These are all programming languages, right? So we understand that they're bucketed under a programming kind of function. The other concept that we also have, we don't generate it ourselves. We do look to our customers to kind of provide that. But if you have things like competencies where you're looking to kind of aggregate your knowledge, behavior, and your skills into a single function, maybe you've created a competency framework already today. You want to leverage that. We do have a way to also promote those competencies separately as a separate employee field. And similarly to skills, we can also get assessments or endorsements for those competencies. So I think I'm a level 3 manager. Do you think I'm a level 3 as well? All of that is going to really feed back into our ERM solution.
And to follow up that, from the employee experience side, I want to be a solution architect. I want to be a product owner, and I'm currently an analyst. Or I work over in the finance department, not even related to that department at all. Would I be able to kind of map my own career from there and say, I want that job? What skills does it take?
Absolutely. You got it. Exactly. That's exactly why we need to understand your roles. This is your single source, so you can manage those roles, look at those skills, those competencies. What's going to happen from an employee talent marketplace perspective is they can go in, say, hey, I'm whatever role I am today, I want to be there. I want to be this other role. This other role requires 10 skills, 3 competencies. How does that match my profile? That's when we start thinking about skill gaps. Based on your skill gaps, based on your gaps for competencies, here's some learning objects, here's some mentors, here's some people you can connect with, right? It's not always fair to say, just go learn. You might want to just actually go meet somebody or talk to them to say, what do you like about your role? Or is this even a role that I should be thinking about?
Yeah.
Right?
I am actually a success story of this working. So I was started as an SDR at Phenom, and now obviously you see me on the stage. I'm not cold calling you anymore. So I did exactly that. We built out using our artificial intelligence for me to create a career path for myself, moving from an entry-level SDR role all the way through today being a solutions consultant. So all of those things, though, for me are soft skills. There's not a lot that I have to know. I don't build the product like Jesus does, so I don't have Java SQL.
Not yet.
My things are presentation skills, right? Being able to answer questions and things like that. So all of those competencies and my conversations with my managers are just as important, and they led me to where I am today.
Absolutely.
So it does work both ways.
So I think we're right on time, but if anybody else has questions, come on up. We got some time after this. I think I'm here anyways for the next session, so I won't go anywhere. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.